Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Jerry Paleo, and I'm the creator of the Burnout During Organizational Change Model, or BDOC. Well, as a subject matter expert in this area, you can imagine I get an awful lot of questions. And one of the biggest questions that I get from people is, Dr. Paleo, I'm burned out. What can I do to recover? Well, in a previous video, I talked about how important it is for you to understand how your personality interplays with the workplace or situational factors that you're experiencing, because that determines your own unique blend of burnout. But many people out there are looking for the quick fix, the hack, the silver bullet that all I have to do is do this. And guess what? I'm cured. Not necessarily. Some of these quick hacks would be exercise more, meditate, do some yoga. That'll combine the exercise and the meditation. You're not sleeping? Try some sleeping pills. Or why don't you just have another glass of wine or a scotch or a whiskey just to take the edge off and help you go to sleep? Or maybe instead it's, I really need that new outfit. And you kind of go on shopping sprees. Maybe it's the work itself that you just throw yourself into it even more. Because if you can get the work done, then that's going to alleviate the stress and everything's going to be peachy keen, hunky dory. Or for many people, just quit. It's stressed out, quit. Well, one of the things you have to realize with these hacks is usually they're a form of escapism and they work for a little bit of time. Some of them can have positive, beneficial results, such as exercising or meditation or anything involved with greater self care. But some of these hacks actually have negative or potentially harmful results. Too much alcohol, what I found with many of the women in my women in burnout research is that they never drank that much, but they started having a glass of wine when they came home, not to get drunk, but just to take the edge off, and even more importantly, have it as a line of demarcation between their work selves and their personal selves. But then it started getting into two glasses. Then it was every night. Then it was a half a bottle. Then it was a bottle. And suddenly they're looking at, if not alcoholism, they believe that they're really drinking far, far, far too much. And the alcohol has become a crutch for them. So, one of the things you have to realize with these hacks is that they're short term. They make you feel good for a little bit. But if you don't deal with the cause of your burnout, you're just going to keep rebounding right back into it. And you're going to descend deeper down the burnout spiral. And you're much more likely to have a boomerang effect, or what I call residual burnout, which is where, in the case if you leave your job, you left. A lot of people are saying stressors are gone. Yay! It's kind of like the witch is dead in The Wizard of Oz, right? But then you go to a new job and I'm burning out again. And it's faster this time and it feels more intense. Well, that's because you haven't dealt with your unique causes for burnout. You might have certain symptoms, but what caused you to burn out? And this is why these quick hacks don't work. No, it is not easy to recover from burnout. And anybody who tells you I can have you recovered in burnout in 30 days, don't believe them. I've done a lot of research into this area and talked to a lot of the survivors of burnout, because believe me, they are survivors. They had to make very, very difficult decisions, make changes in their lives in order to recover from burnout. But here's the great part. Once they quit dealing with the symptoms and got down to the root causes, whether they're certain assumptions or biases in their own lives or whether it's something going on in the organization, their recovery was a transformational event. In fact, in many situations, it was very similar to Maslow's self actualization on his hierarchy of needs. So, in these situations, the women looked back on their burnout and they said, I hated it. I hated it. I thought I was going to die. I wanted to die, but I got through it and I dealt with the causes. And you know what? My burnout was a gift because it was the kick in the head that I needed to make major changes in my life so that I could be happy and that I had the courage to be happy. Now, the quick fixes of just go exercise. Well, I know a lot of people who go to a gym, they go through the motions, but their mind's still at work. So how is that really helping them? They may be feeling a little bit better physically, but it's not enough to overcome the burnout. Or people who attempt meditation, they sit there and, oh God, monkey mind, monkey mind. I'm thinking about a million things. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? God, I can't even be quiet for 5 minutes. So these hacks, although some of them can be helpful, recognize that they're short term. What I found in the women whom I've interviewed, their recoveries followed two paths. One was they went more of the spiritual, self-reflective, meditative, mindful path. And so these were people who often were self-reflective to begin with. They were thoughtful and they spent time thinking. But they also had physical problems. So once they kind of got their minds straight, so to speak, then they started taking care of their physical needs. They said, I am going to go for a walk. I am going to eat better. I'm going to stop doing the drinking. I don't need that anymore. So they crossed over. So it was a holistic, but it was a sequential holistic approach. In contrast, people who were very active beforehand, who exercised or were athletes when they were younger, but all that exercise kind of went to the wayside once they burned out. For these people, sitting down and trying to meditate was too difficult for them. So instead, what they did was they went the exercise route. They started going to the gym more. They started blocking off time that was sacrosanct for them to do their exercise. They focused on their diet more. They got rid of the alcohol quicker. They did all of the physical things. And then once that got under control, then they started saying, I need to be more reflective. I need to be more thoughtful and self aware. And they usually went into some type of a spiritual practice or meditation, mindfulness, something like that. So again, it was holistic, but it was sequential. So this is why it's so important to know yourself. And this is why burnout can be such a great gift when you recover, because you end up getting a better understanding of who you are, what you want, and probably most importantly, what you're willing to sacrifice in order to create the life that is important to you, not anybody else, but what is important to you. You can self actualize. And remember, there isn't a silver bullet. If anybody says to you, if you do this, you will recover from burnout quickly, don't believe them, because it is a transformational process. It is holistic. Burnout affects you emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, and even in some cases, spiritually. So give yourself time, be patient, and most importantly, determine how to recover from burnout based on things that fit for you. Now, in some upcoming videos, I am going to be talking in more detail about these various recovery strategies that I found keep repeating itself in my research on burnout, especially for women in burnout. So I hope this works. Realize that you can recover from burnout, but it requires patience, it requires self awareness, and yeah, it requires self care and self love. I hope this helps. Please, by all means, put comments down below or subscribe to this channel. Thank you.